Alright, hey everybody, welcome back to part 2 of creating a house for our video game. In this part, we're going to be texturing the house and doing any cleanup that we need to do. First thing, we're going to check the names, make sure everything's named here properly. I did this off screen, so go ahead and make sure you've named everything. This isn't going to be a modular house, this is just going to be one complete unit. So we're going to go ahead and select everything that we need for this house. We're basically going to build it ourselves with our own pieces in Blender and then hand it off to whomever is making the game, using it inside the game engine. So we're going to select everything here, right click, shift right click, and we will do Shift D to duplicate everything and just leave it where it is. And then we will press Control J to join everything. And now what you see on the right side, this new housing it's probably going to be named the first object you selected or the last object. So we're going to have to go ahead and rename this. Call this Housing Complete. I'm going to call it O2 because I already have one that I've messed around with. You can call it Housing Complete 01. Rename it, looks good. We're going to go ahead and hide the other ones. We're not using them now. And then we're going to go into UV editing, the tab at the top, UV editing. Create a new material. Double click this and we will name this matte underscore. And we kind of have to think like, we're not just naming, we're not going to have one material for our house. We're probably going to have one material for like housing. We'll do housing doodads, okay? Or matte doodads. And then, so in our engine, when we use this certain material, we can apply this to our housing. We can apply this to barrels. We can apply this to fences, you know, so we're always using this same material. So we don't want to be creating a bunch of materials and a bunch of different names. We just want a generic material, generic name for it. Specular, roughness, sheen, tint, all that stuff. It's not really going to matter once it's in the engine because you're going to have to create your own materials. So you can just leave those for now. For base color, we're going to select this little yellow dot and we will select image texture. Click open. And then you will go to the texture that you have made. I have one given to me, which is a crazy color palette right here. Interesting. Okay, and then we will go and give us some more room here. And now we're just going to start selecting everything that we want the same color. So let's go back to our reference image. Where's our reference image? Front view. We see that there's like a teal blue, teal green with darker accents there. So go back to our UV editing. We'll grab these darker ones first. Select all those. Control ++ to grab all the faces that are connected to it. And now, oh, actually, before we get started, you probably will have this issue. Nothing's been unwrapped. We're going to press A twice, or A once to select everything, A twice to unselect, A, select everything, press U for unwrap, and then we're just going to go for light map pack, and that's fine. And that's going to basically space out everything just on its own. It's nothing fancy. We're not doing any seams or anything like that. It's just going to pack everything in there as best as it can. We just want some basic shapes down. Now we can go up here and select those dark greens we were just talking about. The Control ++ again, so we have all those faces. And now if we look over here, we have just those faces selected in our UV map area. And it's kind of awkwardly spaced out, so I'm just going to go in over here, press 7 on the numpad for top view. I'm just going to go U again. And I'm just going to select project from view. And there we go. We have our UVs right here, all a nice little bunch. Okay, and now let's find a dark blue. Let's do G to grab. move it up to this blue up here. And we'll do S to scale, G to grab, S to scale. There we go. We got a nice dark blue there. That blue's a little bit too saturated, I think. You know what? I think we're going to use this one down here. This one right there. Okay. And then we're going to select this roof. That looks good. We'll do Control++, select all the individual faces on the side. Again, this UV thing is all spaced out, so I'm just going to, for convenience, I'm just going to go top view, U, project from view. Now it's all bunched up in a little square there. I'm going to press G to grab. And this is going to be a little bit lighter here, so maybe I'll do this one right here. G to grab, scale it down, zoom in, make sure it's all nice, nothing's overlapping. There we go. Okay, and then we'll just tab out. We'll press Z, material preview. Alright, that's looking pretty good. It's quite a bit of a contrast, but I kind of have to stick with the colors I have here. That should be fine. Alright, let's do the wood paneling next. So let's go Z. Alright, let's tab into edit mode. Z is solid. And let's grab everything that's going to be dark wood. So we'll just do Control++ on all of that. Let's grab these wood panels. Now if we do Control++, is it going to grab the walls? It is. Okay, so I'm going to hold Control+ down so it selects everything there. And then I'm going to hold down Shift. I'm just going to right click these walls that I don't want. And that's going to be a lot quicker than trying to select everything. There we go. Is that all the wood paneling we want? Looks like it. I'm going to unselect that face. Unselect that face because we're going to put that as a different color. I want to select that window. Let's press Z, go into wireframe mode. Let's press 3 on the numpad, go in the side view. Let's see if we can't grab these without grabbing a bunch of other stuff. There's G to grab. How's that look? Z for solid view. Or Z, slide over to solid view. Looks pretty good. And then I want these door accents to be the same color as well. So I'm just going to grab those. And I can't do Control+ anymore. I was just going to start grabbing walls again. So I'll just have to do this by hand here. Grab all these faces. And maybe we'll even do the door handle the same color as well. Let's go into wireframe mode. Go to the side view. G to grab. Looks good. Back into solid view. Okay. And then I'm just going to do U, unwrap, project from view. So we've got a nice little bundle of frames here. And then we're going to try and find a nice wood color. Let's go to our layout. Let's see, what do we do here? So we have some dark wood, and then it's almost like some light browns. Let's go back to our UV editing. What do we have? What are our options? So we could use that as a wood color, but what about that wall? We could use this one as a wall color, or even that one. Or even that one. I like that one. Okay. So we'll take this, scale it down. I like that brown. That's a good brown. I like that brown. And then we'll select this wall, this wall, this wall, this wall, this wall. Select all these walls. That looks good. And then we won't select the door. We'll do the door a different color. And then we'll just do U, project from view. A nice little bundle of, for the UV there. G to grab, move it up, scale it in, zoom in, just to make sure it's right in the center there. That looks good. Let's press Z, material preview, tab out. Alright, it's looking pretty good so far. Let's remove the floor. It's not looking too bad at all. Okay, let's save it, Control S. Z, move over to solid view. Tab into edit mode. We also have to do this door frame. So we'll select that, control plus plus plus. There we go. Front view. Whoops. One on the numpad for front view. And then we'll just press U, project from view. What do we got? Nice little bundle of UVs there. Now, I'm not sure which brown we used before, so I'm going to select this beam here, and then it'll show me where the UV is, so it's right there. So I kind of want maybe a similar brown. Let's see if there's anything in the pictures. Whoops. See if there's anything in the pictures. There's no real doors in the pictures, but it's really an unsaturated color. You know what? Maybe we'll just go for the color beside it. So we'll press Control Z to go back to our door selection. G to grab. Then we'll scale it down, zoom in, just make sure it's all in that color. There we go. Z to material preview. Tab out. It doesn't look too bad at all. Okay. And then we just have to fix this face here and this face here. We're going to give them a lighter brown. That looks a bit better. I like that. Let's see if there's any other options. Doesn't quite look like the inside of a tree. Ugh. Okay. This is the type of thing where you could end up spending an hour trying to fix all the colors. So I think we're just gonna... Oh boy. I think we'll just call it there. Ah, that looks too orange, doesn't it? Okay. How's that look? That doesn't look too bad. And there you go. You have a textured house. Let's go Z, solid mode, so we don't slow down our computer. Control S to save. Let's go back to our layout. Look at our house here. Now, in order to get this ready for a video game, we're going to need to adjust the scale, apply the scale, rotation, location, and anchor points. It's a lot of stuff, but you can do it really quickly. So what we'll do first is Shift A, Mesh, Cube, and this will create if we press N, you can see that this is a 1 by 1 by 1. Well, that's a scale. Sorry, 2 by 2 by 2 meter cube. This used to be 1 by 1. So we will just we'll just set it right here. We can type it in. X, we'll make it 1 meter. Y, 1 meter. We'll leave the Z at 2 meters. So this is your average human height. 6 feet. So it's Z, or G and Z, bring this up. And then we'll push G and X, bring this over. So this is the average person's height. You're probably going to be using in your video game as well. So we kind of want to scale our house to that person's height. We want to keep the scale, not relevant, what's the word? Consistent, to keep the scale consistent. How's that look? That looks pretty good. I like that. Okay. So now the next thing we're going to need to do is see this yellow dot right here, this orange dot. We want that to be at the bottom and probably in this corner right here. So what we can do, let's go into top view. I might have a bit of an issue here, but let's Z wireframe. Let's see, where is our edge of our house and not our roof? So there's the edge of our house right there, this area. So we're going to G to grab it, and we're just going to bring it over. Try to place it right on the center. If you don't get it exactly perfect, that's fine. We're just going to keep zooming in until this is relatively... I mean, I go in pretty far. You don't have to go in this far. Just do the best you can. There you go. Zoom back out. And then we'll go into front view. We'll do the same thing again. G to grab, bring it up along the Z. G to grab, bring it along the X axis. This is actually the piece of wood sticking out, isn't it? Yes, it is. Okay. So it's just G and X, bring it right over there. Perfect. Back into front view. And this is more than close enough. This is, once you're zoomed out and you're in the game, you're not going to notice, but this is just what I prefer to do. All right, let's move this box over. Okay, so now we have our basically like our snap location set, so we can select this, make sure the house is selected, press Control A. Yes, Control A. And we're going to apply all of our transforms. So this is going to set our scale to 1, as you can see over here, 1, 1, and 1. And it's going to apply the location. So now when you import it into a game, everything based around this point will be consistent when you import it into the game. If that makes sense. I don't know if it does. So like let's say if I was to scale this up and make a giant, but I didn't apply the scale, when you import this into your game, it's just going to go back to 1, 1, 1. The scale's just going to go back to normal. So that's why you want to set those. Alright, so one final thing is exporting. This is pretty much good to go. The materials are set, texture set, save the project. We're going to select just this one object. Let's check our naming. Our naming is good, scale's good, everything's good. Let's check material preview. Material's good. We didn't miss any faces, did we? Nope. I think we look good. Color looks good. Let's go to put this back in solid view. Let's go to File, Export, FBX, and then we'll call this housing. Actually, we can just call this house 01. And then on the right side, we're going to do selected objects only. We're going to do mesh. We're just exporting the mesh. And then if you're exporting for Unity, you're going to want to apply the transform. That way you don't have to change the rotation on every single model that you bring into the game or into the engine. Just click Apply Transform and export FBX, and you are done. You should now have a game ready model.